Could the Largos play a significant role in the ending of the Icebrood Saga, or even the end of a Dragon's expansion? Let's discuss. The Largos were introduced at the launch of Guild Wars 2 back in 2012. They are an enigmatic and stoic aquatic species of humanoid. Now, there is little known of this race, however, they have still managed to be a source of great speculation amongst the player base. So, with the imminent arrival, or at least we hope, of the deep sea dragon, could we see the ascendance of the Largos? Now, there are sadly few Largos in-game, with around 10 uniquely named individuals, as well as a generic Largos assassin who pops up in the Shiver Peaks to, let's say, harangue players as they adventure. The most widely known Largos is Isaiah al-Rashid, who aids the player character during the events of the personal story. Raiders will, however, be familiar with the twin Largos, much to their pain, I imagine, at times, but sadly there was no new lore that I could glean from that encounter, so as it stands, we're going to be getting the lion's share of the lore, as scant as that may be, from Sire. So what do we know? The Largos make their home in the deep oceans of Tyria, where they coexist peacefully with the Quaggan, but rather than a traditional treaty between allies, the relationship is described as a non-interaction, the reason for which will become clear later in this video. So the few individuals we have seen are all masked, armed, and heavily armoured. Now, the mask could be ceremonial in nature, marking the wearer as a hunter of their race, or the mask could be functional, needed for breathing either above and or below the waves. In the open world, Largos always play an adversarial, combative role for the player, which leads me to believe that we have only ever encountered what I would consider as a warrior or even assassin of the species. In fact, many of the Largos we have met refer to or think of themselves as hunters and seem to have a fairly binary world view. You are either a predator or you are prey. And much like the predator of Jim Thomas's work, Largos hunt only worthy adversaries. We learn this from Zephyr Azim, found in Melkor's Sleep, from his dialogue. It brings dishonor to fight a weak or unprepared opponent. This attitude explains the peace enjoyed with the Quaggan, as it seems likely the Largos deem them to be a very unworthy prey. Sire too mentions honor during the Intercepting the Orb chapter of the personal story when speaking of Traherne. I owe him a favour and Largos always keep our oaths. So honor is paramount to the Largos, at least in these instances. Honor systems in the real world, given closer scrutiny, can be anything but, so it's feasible there is a darker side to these self-named deep dwellers. So, what do we know about Largos culture and society? There are two groups, or perhaps organisations is a better term, mentioned in-game: the Concordant or the Tatioth Houses, and the Shadowed Scions. Sire speaks of them in the Source of Awe, the Temple of the Forgotten God, and Wetworks chapters of the personal story, saying, "Honour the Tatioth Compact, that is the heart of a Largos. Track it, kill it, bring me proof. I have long owed Traherne by the Tatioth Houses and the Shadowed Scions. I will pay that debt in full today. I live according to the dictates of the Tatioth Compact, with honour and without mercy." We can also refer to Asfer Azim again, whose greeting dialogue includes "the Scions are listening, and by the Tatioth Houses I greet you." So who or what are they? Well, here we head into speculative territory. So the Concordant or the Tatioth Houses could well hint at the structure of Largos society, which brings to mind sort of the Game of Thrones universe with its many great houses and all the personal and political upheaval wrought by them. Largos society could well be a dystopian pit of vipers, with only the most cunning and ruthless able to ascend that ladder of chaos. Likewise, it could also mirror the social structures of the Char. Houses replace legions, where strength is venerated above all. The weak are marginalized and shunned. Now, we know not how many houses there are, but to me it seems logical to conclude, or at least speculate, that the houses represent the social scaffolding of Largos civilization. Writers often look to the Western classics for inspiration, and I think we can glean some insight from the decision to use the word Tethys. In Greek mythology, Tethys was a Titan goddess of the oceans, who in the Iliad was charged with the protection and, well, mostly incarceration of the goddess Hera, the wife of Zeus, at Zeus' behest. You see, Hera was sequestered in the ocean realm to hamper her efforts as she sought to meddle in mortal affairs, setting gods and men on a path of war. So could Tethys have spiritual elements as well as its stated underlying doctrine of Largos behavior? The name could simply be to demonstrate the Largos belief that they are the overlords, the gods of the deep, or it could indicate some ancient purpose charged to the race, perhaps by an equally ancient prophet. Yep, okay, so we're going there. So could Glint or even a Cunavang have charged the Largos to watch over the sleeping deep sea dragon? The idea is not too far-fetched when you consider the name of the only other organization mentioned by the Largos, Shadowed Scions. Yes, so let's talk about the Concordiat, because in the mundane world, a Concordiat is an agreement between, say, a religious organization and state governance, traditionally the Holy See and the crowned heads of state throughout Europe. And this concordat dictated the interactions, obligations, and limitations on each in respect of the other. So could the Shadow Scions be the other party intimated in the concordant of the Tethys houses? This might even indicate that the Shadow Scions represent some sort of spiritual nexus for the Largos, or perhaps they could be yet another sect of the Brotherhood of the Dragon. Wild speculation here, but it's not beyond the bounds of reason that the Shadowed Scion refers to an actual scion or scions of, say, Glint. Perhaps this is a contingency plan hidden deep in the oceans in the event that Aurene and Orvelast are unable to fulfill their purpose. Of course, given the seemingly brutal nature of the Largos, the sect could simply be the enforcers of the compact between the great houses. Sadly, in respect of the Largos, we have far more questions than answers, but honestly, I think the community would welcome wholeheartedly their re-emergence, their reappearance, and it would not just be fan service. There are story threads the writers have not yet pulled that could easily draw the enigmatic sire from the shadows. Near the conclusion of the personal story in the Source of Awe chapter, players have an opportunity to converse with Sire. This is that interaction. Player, twice you have given me aid, once with Apisha and then at Abaddon's temple. I am in your debt. Sire, you offer debt. I take it. By the concordant we will be twinned until our balance has been made even once more. And this is not the only narrative imperative the writers could use to herald the return of the Largos. Master Sadias, a Largos found in Melt Maelstrom, offers another tantalizing end for the team with his dialogue. My apprentice and I come from the ocean deeps. I wouldn't advise you go there. You're not ready for the horrors of that place. The waters of our home have become dark. Because Largos value vigilance and skill, I must prepare my apprentice for the challenges ahead. So with these few lines, it puts the Largos on the front line of the war against the deep sea dragon and offers us some hope of their eventual reinstatement into the story, fingers crossed. So that's my Largos speculation video. Let me know if you think we will see the Largos again and what you think their society is like in the comments down below. And whilst you're down there, please do like this video if indeed you did like it. Subscribe for more Guild Wars 2 goodness. And please do show some love to Arthur, Cody, Kildare, Cub, Molini, Jolly Joe Star, Dark Griever, and all my wondrous, fantabulous Patreons, without whom I would be unable to dedicate the time and resources I do to my content creation. I can never thank you all enough. If you'd like to join my band of nerdy awesome for exclusive lore videos, links to my Patreon page below. And if you feel inspired to jump into Guild Wars 2, there are referral links down there as well, for both the free-to-play game and the Path of Fire expansion, which includes all the content from the Heart of Thorns expansion too, thanks to the generosity of ArenaNet and their partner program, of whom I am a proud affiliate. Using any of these referral links directly supports my channel, because you, dear friend, not a penny more. But we come to the very end. So until we meet again, please stay safe, stay awesome, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.